everybody. Welcome to the season finale recap of Survivor 49. It's in the books. Brandon, congratulations. You picked correctly.
Thank you. This one comes with an asterisk, though. I think the forever question about the season will be, did the whole informing us who's going to be in the next season work? And I think we'll tell you our answers by the end of this episode. But first, before we start, I want to get your guys' tell me who your second cousins are. I want to know your uncles in order from like youngest to oldest. Can you guys give me all that?
You should know that already.
You should know that already.
I want your vote, though.
I'm going to cry. I'm so upset about this. I was so emotional.
Brandon, do you know my name?
Ooh, I mean, as you guys know,
don't worry, I'll still vote for you.
I'm really good with names, as you know.
Okay.
Really good. I was not calling Charlie last season Chuck for 5 weeks at a time, and there wasn't even a Charlie last season. That's how bad of names I am. But I'm sorry I don't know your kids' names. Your grandma's name is Matilda, right? That's close. Grandpa?
Close enough.
What a question. We'll get to all that.
Yeah.
Here in this episode.
It was a very, very. There was a lot of things going on with that episode last night.
Yeah.
Some in Survivor, some in other aspects. We had a pause. We had a very long bathroom break. Take out
season
the
49.
Trash. Everyone was looking for their, what did you call it? The presidential nullifier advantage.
Presidential nullifier advantage. Yeah.
We were all looking for that.
Leave it to season 49 to have a halftime show.
Yes, apparently. I would have preferred Bad Bunny. We're going there. Alex, what did you think about the whole thing?
I did like the finale. I was voting for Blue Sophie, like I said last podcast. I was like, it's wishful thinking that she could win, but then she's kind of pulling it off. And I was, I predicted that Savannah would win. She played the most dominant game. You were saying if Rizzo or Savannah get to the end, it seems like they're going to win. But when Christina asked that question to Savannah, like, what do you know about the people on the jury? And she knew nothing about anybody, really. I'd be surprised if she even knew Rizzo's family. And he talked about his family all the time, which is ironic on many levels because she's a reporter who interviews people to get information.
No teleprompter.
I'm sorry?
No teleprompter.
Right. There's no teleprompter. Yeah. So I thought, like, man, this is competitive. Blue Sophie got 2 votes. I was saying, I didn't think Blue Sophie played. I thought Blue Sophie actually played a good game. She started from the bottom. Why did everybody say that? That was crazy. Everyone was starting from the bottom and they were, I don't know, like what, maybe everyone was saying.
There was a very busy room, that bottom. There was a lot of people in
Everybody was there. Yeah. I guess everybody does start and then you do get some, so, okay.
And it was the 2 people that weren't even on the bottoms up alliance. So there's a whole alliance that was on the bottom that we haven't talked about.
So it wasn't like a total blowout. Seeing Blue Sophie win was so fun, like total comeback victory. That was really fun. And then seeing Savannah and Rizzo go to fire, that's what America wanted to see. That's what the world wanted to see, was them duke it out in fire. I think it would have been a little bit more entertaining to see them both at the end. It would have been curious to see who would have won. So I thought the final episode was good. I didn't like the Savannah win just because I don't really like Savannah. She did play the best game, but I think her social game lacks so much. I'm usually one to say strategy is the only thing that matters, but because I liked Blue Sophie more, I'm going to say, you know what? I think the social game in this instance should have taken more of effect. And I think Blue Sophie had a reason to win. And like this whole, she's the 4th challenge. When do challenges mean anything? Like challenges don't mean, but this season they did.
I am glad that they're back as far as that challenge love. The fact that Sophie, is it B or first Soph, or no, never Soph. I can't get their names right. The blonde Soph that it was powering through challenges against, with Savannah. The fact that she said winning challenges is a strategy. So I really appreciate that. And I think there's a lot of merit to that, saying that there's some people who don't try to win challenges, even though they could, because they don't want to be seen as a threat. So I get that. I think that's great. I think for those people that are saying, hey, like New Era Survivor lacks, the challenge aspect, I think they brought it this season. It was a great Final Four challenge. I thought it was different, included many aspects of all the challenges that we've seen throughout the season. And that's what it should be. Not just like chasing some balls through a metal maze all the time. That was perfect. So yeah, I'm so glad that was brought. And I want to say one more thing about New Era Survivor. For the amount of times that we have seen and griped at winners being like the emotional winner, which I think Sophie could have done. I think she played enough game to not just be an emotional one, but I'm glad that strategy beat emotion. Easily, I think Sophie had the most emotional draw, the smiles, the laughter she caused. But for Savannah to win this, I think it showed a little bit of, okay, like Survivor does have a bone about strategy. This new era will end on the strategic one winning over the more emotional story. Does that make sense? And I love that.
Well, I really like to see that. And here's the thing. We're talking about Savannah not knowing everybody's stories and not really paying attention or caring to remember, because she even said it herself. There was that point during that challenge that I was telling you, screaming out your kids' names, and now I can't remember it. And that just like was the exclamation point to me on Savannah. She said it. She was in it for herself. She wanted to win this. She did it. Her whole why did you want to win? I wanted to do it for me, right? It was all, I'm being selfish this time. I wanted to win for me, for my 7-year-old self, and for my future self. So I want to set myself up. I don't think that scored her a lot of points, but I also think it was brutally honest, which they do want to see. But the tipping point in all of this, in my opinion, is the wins that she did get. She needed to get those immunity wins, that they did come into play, I think, when people were talking about, how they base their vote. I think it is important to be such a dominant immunity winner. She got them when she needed them, or she would have been gone. But I don't think she made a lot of friends out there. So in their voting, I think they just thought that she had the best game overall, which is really what we want in a Survivor winner.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, I'm not done. I'm sorry.
Please, Sage, continue.
I did love that quote from Sage. I had to bring that in some point. No, that was all I had.
And since we're on the name thing right now, I do think that, we knew Savannah won. She was on, Brie, as you said, 5-6 episodes ago. She was on the boat. She's the only team that didn't have a winner. Everything pointed to her winning without even having to watch Survivor. But Sophie gave it her all, and I give her kudos for whenever Savannah was trying to answer all the questions with the names. You saw Sophie over there kind of like mouthing the right answers and smiling about it to them. Like, part of me thinks that that's just who Sophie is. That's what she would do regardless of winning $1 million or not. But I also think there's a little bit of intentionality behind there being like, no, I know every single answer to every single one of these questions. And that's why I'm the best social player in this game. I don't know what I would have done in this. It's hard for me, again, the bias of knowing these players and how we knew too much going into the season. But I don't know. I would have had a hard time choosing between Sophie and Savannah. And it's not every season that I can be like, oh, this is 50-50. Most times, even if there was like a tie vote, like the Dominic Wendell thing, I had a reason and I knew exactly who I would have voted for of those two. But this, I was a little back and forth between these two.
What about you, Alex?
Yeah, I do think that Sophie should have, attacked Savannah a little bit more. That was such a key moment, and just say, this is how wit out, play out last, and the social game means a lot. If she knows nothing about, like, just yes, she was a threat. You know, she had a target. You know, she said everyone was trying to fire at me and they couldn't get me out. Which does it speak to her strategic gameplay? Yes. I mean, the stupidity of maybe her competitors too. But I think that Sophie really should have just stressed that and been a little bit more vicious. It's not in her nature. She's not a vicious person. Maybe it would have kind of contradicted her previous, you know, so I just wish she would have really focused in on that, because I just never seen anything like that in a final tribal of somebody just failing that hard. I mean, yes, it's maybe she did know some of the answers and she couldn't think of it at the time because she's nervous and it's fine. I'll write all that different type of stuff. But I think she could have painted Savannah into more of a corner and say, you know, you maybe all saw her as a threat, but she really isn't a threat. And Sophie had such a, you know, I think though she put Savannah up to fire, Savannah won fire, eliminated Rizzo, the biggest competitor. I think that added to it too. You know, if she really wanted to win, she would have put herself up to fire. Would have been the right decision. Yeah. I just ended up really loving Blue Sophie at the end. And, you know, she was so, I'm not going to say anything bad about Sage because I don't want to be on some watch list or something. So Sage, we'll just ignore Sage for the rest of the time. But
no one picked her. We didn't pick her in our draft. No one picked Rizzo either.
No.
I do want to bring up a little bit. First of all, I really started to like Blue Sophie. I mean, I picked her for my team, so I really enjoyed her on the whole entire season. She had these little quirks to her, but I didn't find them really annoying at all because I didn't see them as over the top or too excessive. I thought she was, I wanted to see more from her. I think she has potential. I think we will see her again, that from the way she brought so much love and light to the show. I see her coming back. I do. And I would love to see her coming back. Sage, I don't know. She said a few things in there that I was like, she's like, wait till I unpack some of the things I've been holding on to for so long. And then, but that you were in military, you had a lot of military, like is that all? I thought she was going to unpack like really like massive things that she'd done that we as even the audience didn't know she did. And I was like, what happened to that? She didn't really do it. But the biggest surprise to me was Rizzo was a very gracious loser in fire. Because, you know, he's not a very good winner. When his plans went his way, which happened quite a bit.
When did he win?
With the whole idol thing. Well, it was just like when his plan came, when every week in the vote and the different things, he was just like, nah, you guys are so stupid. I kept playing my idol talking about it. I had it for like, it was a little like, it was annoying, Rizzo. It's RIZGOD. We're just like, be a little like, I don't know. It was a bit much. But when he actually lost in fire and was out of the game and Savannah went on, I kind of liked him at that moment. I warmed to him slightly at that moment because I thought the way he handled it was really, really gracious. It was really touching. I liked that. I liked that guy. Of whatever part of the R or the I don't know, maybe it was the Z part of it. I don't know, but I liked it.
My opinion of Savannah and Rizzo were so colored by, you know, it leaking and being frustrated with that and understanding, oh, these guys are going to go far. So you didn't really root for them as much because they weren't really the underdogs. You know, they were just obviously good. So I do wonder what my opinion of Savannah and Rizzo would have been if we didn't know that they were likely that they went really far and then that one of them were also likely the winner. Savannah being the one that kind of leaked because she was on the tribe. So I just, you know, we've talked about a million times over the last, you know, all these different podcasts for season 49, but I do just wonder what I would have thought of both of them if we didn't know. Right.
Yeah.
I think it spoiled it. Yeah. Don't do that again, Uncle Jay.
Uncle.
No.
I have nothing to say about Uncle Jay. Maybe they should have named him. Hey, I know all your guys' uncle. It's Uncle Jay. And then Savannah would have won the heart of Christina for knowing her Uncle Jay. I think here, so I want to touch on Sage because we haven't talked about her too much. I think my no longer needing to see Sage in like a season 50 when she lost the game was when she picked to go after Yellow Sophie instead of getting out Savannah when they had the chance. It was like the first 6 seasons. If it wasn't getting out Shannon, it was I want to get out Savannah next. And you can't win the game when you have stated that your mission is to get Savannah out. And all of a sudden, and maybe it's a little bit of Savannah charm. I know she hasn't shown much. They didn't show much of that, but it was enough to say, hey, I want to take you to this reward challenge. She got the token Sage hug that means a lot because she doesn't just give them to anybody. And maybe that won her over. And she just said, okay, Savannah, if I can't beat you, I'll join you, which was the wrong move on her part. And how about the $1 million decision of Sophie not taking Rizzo's idol an episode ago? That would have been the winning move because she wins Final Four. She won that challenge. So like that would have been almost probably a 5-2, 6-1 vote or however many of those votes. So 2 huge moves as to why Sage and Sophie did not get the prize. But it was cool having 3 females. Something we haven't seen since our friend at San Juan del Sur.
Yeah,
I agree. If Sophie would have just been, did that was brutal, took Rizzo's idol, eliminated him, did all of that. I mean, we talked about this whole first part of the season. It was really boring. There wasn't a lot going on. One team got completely annihilated. Yes, Jake got bit by a snake. But there wasn't really much going on. And even the only thing that really was happening a ton was kind of this fake out with the Rizzo idol the entire time. We had an extra vote in there. Christina played her idol. And, there wasn't anything that was like blowing people away. That would have been the standout moment. It would have distinguished her totally. She not only infiltrated this alliance, but she led to its, she took the most powerful people and just destroyed them from the inside. That would have been like, oh my gosh, and would have added that strategic element to her gameplay that she didn't have. So I'm sure she's kicking herself. You get a little bit of money for a second. So, she's probably not too disappointed, but I'm sure she's very good. But, that's what we all wanted to see. And it didn't happen. So
because she had the arc for it, right? She was in that tribe that was down to 2 people. Right. And then she had to assimilate in. Then she gets in this tres leches, whatever their name was.
Yeah, well,
the 3 amigos. And then to take both Rizzo and Savannah out, it just shows you there was things I learned, and I said, okay, here's what I know. At 6, you can't wait so far in the game to take out the big players. 6, 7, and 6, 6, 7. What I'm
how dare you?
Sorry, but you have to take them out at those points in time when you still have enough people in there to get them out, right? You can't allow them to grow to that amount. Like then there was the 3 of them, and then if Sophie had so if Sophie takes Riz's idol, right, at say 6, then she's pissed Savannah off. Savannah could then turn and take Sophie out, but now she has that. I mean, there's a lot of she would have had to plan it really well and make sure she still had the numbers to make all of this work out. And I think you can't wait till 5 and 4 and hope that all you got out was Riz, which was fine, but you left Savannah in the game, and that was you needed to be at the point where she was long gone, and you've got people there with you where it doesn't matter who wins fire. You're still going to beat everybody that you've brought. Those other 3 people, you're fine.
And if you've been through the stuff that Savannah or Blue Soph has been through, and you went through a decimated tribe, and you got a new one, you made a friend within an hour, you got to do what you got to do. And then, and Savannah, how she kind of, winced a little bit whenever she was mad that Sophie didn't automatically let her give her spiel. and sent her to fire. She took that pretty emotionally, Savannah did in the game. But I think Sophie had the power to say the right things to even get Savannah to understand a move against Rizzo's idol. I really do. I thought she showed that ability throughout the whole entire game.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what also makes Savannah so unlikable, is that all this affront to her. Oh, these people are affronting me. They're attacking me. They're so mean to me. And then she's just, she doesn't give a crap about other people. She expects this princess treatment and all this different type of stuff. And, oh, be nice to me. And then she's just cold. And, and actually I'm not, she showed some really nice moments. Her moment with Sage. And, I'm not saying that she's totally like that, but the perception and how she comes off and the mean girl energy and all. And Christina's question, when Christina asked her that and the grin she had on her face, I was like, I like Christina now. Like, that was awesome. I was like, Christina really knows how to play. She got her revenge in full. I guess she ended up winning the million, so
and again,
got her revenge. But
yes, I think there's a difference between the villain we're craving on Survivor and how Savannah was. I do like Savannah. I do think that she had some cold moments in the game that they showed. And it wasn't exactly villainry. I don't know if she had time to be the villain. She was always having to win immunity and stayed with the alliance and stuff like that. But again, I do think that her taking Sage on the reward challenge was a great step in the right direction for her. And basically in that relationship with Sage, saying, hey, I'm not going to vote her out. Like, basically stand up to Rizgod. And I really think that, what would have happened if Rizgod would have played his idol on Christina, saves Christina, gets his way against Savannah, if he would have not necessarily won fire, but if she would have chose anybody else that wasn't Savannah and Rizgod, I think it would have been interesting to see Rizgod use that move to actually use his idol in a pretty cool way to save the person he didn't want to go home. And I think that would have helped him out a lot. So I think even Rizgod made had a small hiccup when it comes to really optimizing his game. I think that could have been cool.
Yeah, I think it would have been the first correctly played idol in a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that says, that says something, because no one's playing them correctly. You can say he played it correctly for the 9 times he went to tribal and didn't have to play it.
Right.
I mean, he should get credit for that, and shame on all of them for not realizing that the idols
5 thing.
Like several. We should know what these things are. I think, I feel like a few things I want to kind of move into how we feel production did this season, because I noticed some things last night. When we have a lot of stuff coming up to 50, right? And I don't want to get too much into that. But one of the things we talked about a little bit was some of these challenges, especially these last 2, right? They were actually really good ones. I thought they were very well done. There was a lot to them, from going through the mud to digging in the sand. They're like literally just covered in
Christina spitting mud out of her nose and mouth all at the same time.
That was insane.
I'm going to do that today, but I would just make a mess of my table.
Exactly.
It was nasty.
Exactly.
Yep.
So I do think production gave us a lot more when it came to like some of these challenges and some of the things that they brought in. And I also got to give some credit out, because when Jeff was like doing we're at the finale, you know how he always starts that last episode with him talking about this is the epic conclusion, and he's walking through, he was walking through tribal set. And I don't know if we've ever in this season had a glimpse at how massive that set was, but it was, I wasn't really looking at Jeff. I was looking at like all the stuff behind him, and they put some serious effort into building these like shipwrecks that were massive that he was walking through. I was just really impressed by some of just really giving us a lot more this season with production. What did you guys notice? Those are the things that I noticed. Did you guys anything that you noticed that they did this year that you thought was, whether it's from how they hid things to some of the different challenges that we saw?
Yeah, I'll go. I think that the ship was fantastic, and I'm trying to figure out, like, are they going to use that for a movie next? Like, how do you recycle the ship that they put right in the middle of Fiji? I think that was really fun. I enjoyed even back to how they told the story of the snake bite, being able to go back to the medical tent and kind of see different people back there. I didn't think anything they did was too cheesy. I don't think that it was like, hey, we're just showing you just to show you type stuff. I think that everything was pretty intentional. Even, you know, going to the challenges too, when it comes to production of the challenges, you saw the emotion behind the players and how they were feeling. You know, zooming in on Christina's face when she fell off that barrel twice, thinking that she broke both of her ankles at the same time, falling off that wall. Not meaning to laugh, but I thought they did a great job of telling the story. Sometimes I fast forward through the challenges because it's like, I just want to know who wins, but it really kept me almost on an Australian Survivor type, keep me into a challenge. Not quite, but they're getting very close to that.
Alex, what about you?
Yeah, Alex, crazy when Christina falls down. That's kind of dangerous. Like, how do you
like one of those cats where you push the button on the bottom and just
right?
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, she got pretty thin out there, but like, imagine if you were kind of like a bigger person, like you could really F yourself up on like that. Like, you're just going down full speed. You can't stop. You can't go slower. It is like down right into your knees.
Yeah, you're done.
So that, yeah, she had a rough go. Bless her heart.
Isn't that how Nina broke her ankle in Australia? It was coming down like a slide of some sort.
You have all these frail Americans. It's like, what challenge can you do? That's why it's only like, use these chopsticks. Again, use chopsticks to put a blade of grass through a pinhole. That's American challenges. Okay, it's like, okay, that's the only way we can't get hurt. Someone's gonna stab themselves in the eye with a chopstick next time.
Next season,
everyone has safety goggles on, padded suit. Okay. Yeah, I thought the intro with Jeff was super cool. His script, though, I understand he's like walking through. I was like, bro, the script, okay, kind of losing it a little bit, Jeff.
What season was he talking about?
I don't even know.
Alliances that won't, get destroyed, and I think that happened. I think Sage destroyed like almost, her whole entire alliance. Right. Well, that I guess is just Steven, but that was weird.
Right. So I thought his script was pretty, but he's walking through and he always does his one take and he's out. So, Jeff was looking good though. We've kind of criticized, Jeff, and, he's looking good though. I think everything's settling and, he's getting tan. He's out there for a while. So, I'm still a Jeff appreciator, but yeah, his opening monologue made no sense.
That was horrible.
That was rough.
Okay, well, let's jump into, because I know we're gonna end here in a few minutes, and I want to have time for 50. So let's wrap up 49.
Yeah.
What do we think about, like, should Jeff ever tell us who's going to come back in an episode?
No. I'm glad if they're going to experiment on an episode, do it on a 9. I don't want you to ever do it again, but you picked a decent episode to do it. You picked a decent season to do it. I give that whole entire thing a D+. I love the fact that they tried new things. That's why there's a Survivor still for 49 seasons, because they try new things. But them showing the clip of the boat, that's what got me thinking. It had nothing to do with the game. It was that clip that you talked about. And I was like, okay, I'm going to buy into this. It must be this person. And the reason, you have your drafts, and just, it was hard to do a podcast knowing, that you knew kind of what was going on. So D+ for that idea. But for the season, especially with the ending, I think it was one of the better final tribals we've seen, and one of the better finale shows we've seen, even though we knew some information. So I'll give the season a B minus. I'm happy with a B minus.
Alex?
Yeah, they can never reveal spoilers. It's like that's the worst part when you see a spoiler on Survivor. You can't do that. So that was terrible. Who decided that? I don't know if it was leaked. It seemed like there were a lot of leaks this season. Like I saw Savannah, she was in some high-rise apartment. I was like, okay, somebody won $1 million. You know what I mean? I was like, that's kind of so there's a lot of spoilers this season. Didn't love that. So that really, like I said, it's hard to think about what the season would have been like if we didn't know that information. All around, though, first part of the season was really bad. It got better at the end. I thought the last episode was actually really good because I really liked Blue Sophie. Seeing her win, that was an awesome comeback challenge. The challenges were pretty good. We did have some better challenges, I think, just overall this season. There was some, they were moving big things, which I like to see, but they can stop too. They can stop this part. When they start in the water and they run in the water like 7 feet, they're like, first, you're going to start in the water. And they just splash and immediately out. It's like, that's not a challenge.
I feel about that. Yeah.
My feet are wet. Okay. So that's it. Or like the mud too. Oh, can we talk about too? Blue Sophie's advantage. That was like not an advantage at all. She had to go
I thought she'd be able to skip the mud. That's what I was hoping.
That's like, give her something that's useful.
Yeah, give her the Genevieve treatment.
Yeah.
Skip the mud.
Yeah. I was like, that's terrible. Like, that was the worst advantage ever. It didn't lead to anything. So that was I'd give the whole season. I'm critical. I'll give the whole season like a C minus, honestly. Last episode was like a B plus, but whole season is like a C minus.
And I'm going to add to this a little bit to not try to get you to change your grade. But I think that there were some old school Survivor elements that took place. I love that the strategic person won. I thought it was a great jury. I don't necessarily why you ask a question and you're not going to use the information that you came out with. I thought Joanne's question was a bit silly as the why. But that's me. The game is completely subjective. I don't care what you're going to use the money for. I want to know who played the best game. I thought a great question was an old school question. That was the whole, tell me about one person in my family. That goes back to like Clay Jordan and Brian from Thailand type deal. So yeah, I think because it had some old school elements is why I would say a B over a C. Bree, your thoughts?
Well, can I ask you one quick question, Brandon? Yeah. You said the why doesn't matter. If the person's rich, if it's Mike White, are he's got $1 bajillion. It's not going to change him any, at all. Are you giving the guy, the football player, the NFL player, are you giving the guy with the, millions of dollars another million? Because it's the right thing to do, right? Right Survivor thing.
To me, I think it's the right thing to do. You played the game. They picked you. You played the game. If you didn't want him to win the million, vote him out earlier in the season. Like don't keep him for later.
All right.
Yeah. So
no, I would not give him. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't care. Winner gets the million. The winner is the winner is the winner. Yep. I guess I don't really care about that, but it does. I mean, it does play a little bit of a factor. If they were a dick at all to me, then I probably would have given them. Then I'd be like, "No, I'm not going to give you the million, even though I think your game was better." I am a little petty. That's a little petty. I would be that way, maybe a little bit.
If you're a rich person and you're a kind, humble, awesome, sincere person, yeah, why don't you? You probably
maybe you'll go do something great with it. Do something great with it. Make it count. But as far as how the season went for me, first of all, I'm taking 10 points off for the Jeff. I know who's coming back for season 50. So that you're already out of the A contention. Sorry that you lost me on that because I really think it affected every part of how it didn't affect the last episode for me because I was maybe just already knowing it didn't matter and I wanted to see how it played out. But I already kind of knew Savannah was winning at that point because she was the only one on her tribe for season 50 that didn't have a winner. And I knew she was like, obviously she's going to be the winner. So I kind of made like whatever, but I just said to heck with that. I'm just going to enjoy the episode. Mm-hmm. That being said, for me, it's probably somewhere between a C plus and a B minus. I did enjoy some of the people. I thought we had some some really interesting players
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
this
good
season.
job to the casting department. I thought
I thought it was there weren't any real like.
Oh, I want to hear Alex.
Nobody quit. Nobody. I don't want to be here. I can't. So like that gives them that little extra because I am so tired of seeing people quit when they go out. You know what I mean?
Alex gave the angry Elvis whenever you said the casting. So I want to, that's the one. That's the angry Elvis. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just didn't. I don't know. I didn't really
Who didn't you like?
I didn't really like Blue Sophie. I didn't really like anybody else that much. I didn't like Juwan. I mean, he's a nice guy and stuff. I just didn't find him. I didn't find people funny. I didn't really
laugh a whole lot. No, I didn't laugh a whole lot.
Say that again.
I didn't laugh a whole lot. No.
I mean, I just didn't really like that many people during the season. So I didn't think. I don't know. I just didn't. I don't think there's any super. I mean, Rizzo and Savannah are kind of the standout, right? I think what they said about Sage was, I think Sage kind of turned unlikable. You saw it at the end. I think it was who said it? Christina, or was it who said it's like, Sage, you keep saying that you're unlikable or odd or weird. And we said this earlier. It was like, you're not. You're kind of a normal person, and you kind of pigeonhole yourself, maybe from past experiences. But
I think that's what it is.
You're a good-looking person. People like you. Stop being so hard. So I just thought, and it's also too how Survivor is doing these edits. This is the thing that everybody complains about, is it's too much of the sob story. It's too much everyone's a victim. It's too much of, and you just want to see a little bit less corporate retreat, a little bit more savagery. I don't need Steven space facts. So maybe I'm being a little bit negative on the season because it's kind of coloring my perception or anything. There's no Christian, there's no Jonathan, there's no Mike White. There wasn't anybody that I really, really want to see come back personally. So I'm excited we can move into 50 if that's what we want to do, because there's
we got to move into 50. You got about 10 minutes left. Yeah. I do want to take the time to get into 50 because there's a lot of things that happened last night that we got to see for season 50. Now, they gave us obviously the cast way early. We knew too much. It affected how we enjoyed 49. And I was, after seeing the Australian version with Parvati and Sari and Tony, I'm longing for seeing some of my favorite players come back. And to me, the nostalgia of that, to bring them in, to have them paired up with these new players, there's so much emotion in that it really, really makes me excited for that. And then they dropped the bomb with the people, what are they calling them? Special guests that are appearing on season, where I do appreciate Mr. Beast. Love Mr. Beast. I love what he does. He's had an incredible impact on YouTube entirely. And he's changed the trajectory of how YouTube is done, almost single-handedly. And that's a little overpowering, in my opinion, for Survivor. Now, I know you want fans and you want to bring in new crowds, and I get that, but like, on a season where I want to really enjoy the people playing, I don't give a rat's ass if Mr. Beast shows up.
Yeah, I mean, I think they said that this was the lowest rated season of Survivor. The ratings are going down. You do have other shows. You have a lot of these competitive shows. You have Squid Games. You have Beast Games. You have a gazillion other of these competition shows. So it's Traders. There's all these different shows, and so Survivor is that OG. And so I think you have all these people coming to kind of celebrate that. But I think they are in trouble in a way, because you have all these other really compelling shows. Beast Games is so over the top. They put Survivor challenges, to shame, and so they're kind of constrained on the Fijian island because they build things out of, I think, materials there. They're conservative. They're not trying to build some Mr. Beast, super volcano where all the, contestants, play on a giant yacht or something. Like, that's not their style anymore. They always go to the sanctuary. So I think it is a celebration of 50. They're trying to bring some star power in, revitalize the series. But I do think that that's probably where Survivor is going to have to start going, is they're going to have to go a little bit more fantastical, bring in, I think it's probably going to be a thing on 50, but I do think you're going to see it in 51, 52 and going forward. They're going to try these kind of more out of the box things, to attract another audience into the show because they need it.
I think that this is we can't do all this on a 51. We can't do all this on a 49. Like, if we're going to do this, we better do it on 50. We can't do fire tokens on a 26, but we can do it on a 40. So I think this is one of those, like, okay, we have 50. How do we go a little, what can we do in our little bag of crazy ideas to make this really stand out? Survivor fans, they're trying to grab two different fan bases that they may have either lost or never had. One is the people that liked old school Survivor and they don't watch anymore because they didn't necessarily like the new era. So bring back the old people. Awesome. We got those. So now it's there's a whole bunch of people that don't watch our show, but they're getting all kinds of reviews on Mr. Beast. And if we can't get the Mr. Beast crowd, I don't know if they're trying to really get the country crowd. So the whole Zach Brown thing is kind of crazier to me than a Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast makes sense to me. But country music, I guess that's a lost crowd perhaps. And then I think Billie Eilish has a Boomerang Idol. So maybe there's like a little pop crowd that they're trying to capture too. So it's definitely an audience grabber. I hope it becomes the fire token that it's done to like add a little bit more flair, maybe more people, but then hopefully by 51 we hourglass the sucker to the sea and never have a celebrity again. I'm not encouraged by it. I'm apprehensive.
I actually think we will see a celebrity. I do believe
51, 52,
I see Derek Huff is challenging Rob Mariano.
Well, he'd come to play. There's a difference between them coming to play and then
coming to play. Yeah. I think we'll
concert.
see them come to play. Yeah. I think there's enough people now, and they're showing it in different ways. But I made a prediction. I put it in our private chat yesterday. I do believe the reason that Mr. Beast is coming to the show this season, I think it is to get his crowd of people to come on there, but I think he's bringing the prize money, and I believe it's going to be $5 million. I think it's not, they did 1 million before that. We had season 40 and it was 2 million. And I think I think it has a lot to do with a lot of things, but I think first of all, Mr. Beast, they can afford it, by the way. They can do a $5 million. Mr. Beast is all about big numbers. He's going to bring something in. He's going to say this season, the prize is $5 million. They'll tell them when they're on the beach, it'll be Mr. Beast showing them that. And I think that there's also a reason behind that. Even though Dondi has been canceled, so Deal or No Deal Island, it was canceled. I think it's because David broke the bank and he won $9 million on his season. And I think they want to get their number really big for this one time. If you're going to do a 5 million, you do it on a 50. We keep with the fives. I think we'll have 5 celebrities surprise us. I think we'll have a $5 million prize. And I think there's going to be some more fives in there that we'll be surprised with.
It's a good prediction.
Thank you.
I almost wonder a lot of things that's a great prediction. I don't have one of those hot predictions yet.
5, no more 3. It's gonna be 5.
That was good.
Sorry.
That was good. It stopped me in my tracks. So it was good.
Well, I think you're gonna have when is it gonna be on Survivor in the future? It's like, I'd like to play my Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson immunity idol.
Yeah, right.
Like constant celebrity promos. Oh, I'd like to play because they have Paramount Plus got UFC, so they'll be like, oh, I now have the championship UFC. Knowledge is power. I choose to knock out Rizzo. Right
here's my Gilbert Gottfried. I can only talk during tribal idol. want to throw on here.
It's funny. Yeah.
So
We're gonna
many.
have all kinds of crazy stuff. All right, well, we're gonna wrap it up. We've got some exciting things that are coming up. First off, we're gonna be talking. We're gonna come back. We're gonna take a little bit of break over the holidays, but we're gonna be back early with our draft, with a lot of things that are going on. Plus, we're gonna be broadcasting. We're actually gonna be live in English, but then we will be uploading 5 different languages of this actual show. We are looking for your suggestions, so put it in the comments below. What language should we put our show in? Spill the Immunity. We're going to do probably Spanish for one, but I'm looking for other ideas on what other languages we should include, so you can watch wherever you are and have it in your own language. It'll be a lot of fun. And we also have a race coming up. We are all in different states. Alex, you're going to be out of the country, so I don't think it's going to work for you unless you're going to Fiji itself. But they are hiding idols around the U.S. in one in every state. They're going to give us clues. There's going to be a race. If you didn't see that announced yesterday, that also happened, and I'm excited for that. Will you be looking, Brandon? Will you be looking?
Oh, absolutely. I'm already signed up. We're planning our vacations probably around these suckers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll be in Minnesota. I'll come visit.
Oh,
There you go. That's the way to do it. Alex?
Yeah, I'm gonna go be an alternate again. I gotta just chill in Fiji as the forever alternate.
Right.
Before we wrap it, Ozzy looks old. What the heck?
They all
happened
look
to Ozzy?
old.
How long have we been watching Survivor? God, this is.
I know.
It roughs
It's
you up.
crazy.
I just love the fact that you didn't see Genevieve, and it's because you probably won't see her again until episode 9, just like the first season she was on. So I thought that was fun
That's
to watch.
true. That's true. Well,
And
from
Coach
the
giving us
Indiana
some
Dunes.
Magellan.
What?
Yeah, I thought Coach's
giving us
intro.
some
He's
Magellan.
Coach is epic.
I
Yeah, we
know.
love Coach.
Oh,
Yeah.
who else?
No, I'm excited that we get Survivor back so soon. Sometimes you got to wait a long time. We get Survivor back soon. I don't know if we know when Australia Survivor's coming back on, but hey, we'll be back here in February? It's pretty cool.
Yep. Well, from the Steven Spielberg's second choice for a name of a movie in the Indiana Dunes, we will see you guys here next time. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks to these amazing guys that I get to co-host with every week. I just love it. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
That's going to be where the idol is. I'm going to the dunes right now.
Oh my
There we
God,
go.
It is.
Bye, everybody.